and challenger Joe Thill.
220 pounds, I'm honest.
He's beefing up for it.
Each candidate will get 3 minutes for their opening statement, 2 minutes for their closing statement at the end of the debate, and with each question, you'll each have 2 minutes to respond. Shannon will be flagging you down when you have about 20 seconds left. And please stick to the time limit as much as you can, candidates. And you'll each have, if you do want to rebut what anyone said, after the first 2 minutes is up for each candidate, you can take a minute to rebut what another candidate said. So with that, we'll start with the first question.
So we can rebut.
Yes, you'll be able to have 2 minutes. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to speak on the question.
Okay.
And then 1 minute to rebut if they so choose.
Okay.
After the first 6 minutes. So the first question.
Introduction.
We'll start with the incumbent since he's in the hot seat already.
Matthias, are we going to do introductions?
They were going to do opening statements, yeah, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you have 2 minutes. We could start on. Mr. Wagner, we'll let you start with the 2 minutes, and then. Three on the opening statement.
Take part. Good evening. Welcome to the Scott County Fair. It's a glorious, glorious evening here. Thanks for coming to the District 1 Commissioner debate. I won't say what always upsets Barb Marshall. This is the best part of Scott County, District 1. But my name is Joe Wagner. I'm running for another term. We have some interesting times ahead at Scott County. We have some pretty major budget problems down the pike, and we're gonna try to weather it through as best we can. I think the economy in Scott County reflects the economy in general, and we're going to need to really put some pencils to paper to figure out how we're going to get through this entire thing. And my two opponents, Mr. Thill and Mr. Kucera, are both very, very good people. But over the years, in my opinion, we need a little bit of experience, and because these are some pretty tough times, and everything needs to be looked at. Everything needs to be pinpointed as to where we can save, what we can do better, and I've been doing it for a while. I feel I've done the best I can, and I'd appreciate your continued support. Thank you.
Mr. Kucera, we'll just go down the line each time.
Hi, I'm Jerry Kucera. I'd like to thank the Scott County Fair Board for hosting the event and Southwest newspapers for sponsoring it. County Fair is a big deal in my family. My kids did the 4-H thing for quite a few years. My wife Rhonda enters a bunch of stuff in the creative activities building every year, and I get to eat all that. And 1973 was the first year that the county came out here with the fair, and that was the first job I had. I was 14 years old. I was hired to assemble the grandstand. I'm shocked it's still up. And after the fair started, I worked in the parking cars. And now, 37 years later, I get to drive one of the people movers back and forth from the parking lot out to the grandstands, and it's, from a big picture perspective, it looks pretty crazy, but that's how I look at the world, is a big picture. And that's why I think I'd be a good candidate. We'd be a good commissioner, because I can see, not necessarily agree all the time, but I'm willing to understand everyone's perspective, and I think I can represent that at the county board, which is what we need. My apologies to anyone who's offended by this, but we need someone who just doesn't show up to vote, but actually can bring a effective communication to the board level, because one vote on a board of 5 doesn't make any sense. It has to be, you have to be able to convince your other board members of the position of your district that's the position of the county. And then in the end, the county's position has to be taken forward to the state, and we need someone who can effectively articulate that and communicate and build those relationships, and that's why it's time to vote for me. Thanks.
All right, for those that don't know me, I grew up at a farm in Sand Creek Township. My parents still live out there. I come from a very involved family. Mom and Dad, I grew up with them being involved in just a lot of things. Mom running the Cedar Citizen Center, Dad in the Sand Creek Town Board, still is on it. So it's kind of in my blood. And for those that know me real well, I love the county, and I say ad nauseum that I want my great grandkids to drive through this county and not really understand why, but look around and go, God, it's just beautiful out here. That's what we need to do. Currently, I'm on the Watershed Planning Commission at the county. Since I ran 4 years ago against Mr. Wagner, I decided, intended to dig in and get involved. So I joined the Watershed Planning Commission. I chaired it in 2009 and learned a lot about how the county government works. I also joined the Community Corrections Advisory Board, which is a very complicated board. As I'm looking at Gary Sheldon, I mean, there's just the issues in community corrections it's phenomenal, the amount of just in intricacies in that, from probation to the jails and all that. But I've learned a lot, I guess, in 4 years, and also on a lot of various subcommittees too. And as Mr. Wagner said, this next year is going to be very challenging. There's a very significant budget shortfall that it has to be made up, and you cannot spend money that you don't have. None of us do at home, and we certainly can't do it at the county level. And I'm very willing to step up and make those tough decisions and be there and take the phone calls, because I know that the phone's not gonna ring with happy people. I'm not a fool, but I'm willing to be there. I'm willing to show up and be engaged and involved and attend all the committee meetings and fight for things like the MnDOT, for instance, and the J-turn. Those kind of things in Belle Plaine. Someone needs to be at that table pounding their fist and saying, MnDOT, no, you are not going to do this. I'm willing to be there. Thank you.